Welcome back. 4 new cases of Lassa fever have been confirmed from 3 states in the country with no new deaths recorded. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, revealed this in its latest situation report on the disease for week 19, which covers May the 6th to the 12th. Since the onset of the 2019 outbreak, there has been 128 deaths in confirmed cases. Recent figures show that 2 cases were confirmed in Edo and 1 each in Ebonyi and Taraba State. Now, this brings to 2,426 the total number of suspected cases reported from 21 states between January the 1st and May the 12th, 2019. Of these, 569 were confirmed positive, 15 probable, and 1,842 negative, while case fatality ratio in confirmed cases is 22.5%. There's at least 1 confirmed case across 82 local government areas in Edo, Ondo, Bauchi, Nasarawa, Ebonyi, and Plateau State. The NCDC gave the assurance that the Multi-Sectoral Technical Working Group, TWG, has continued to coordinate the response activities at all levels. Activities lined up in honor of the late Olowo of Owo in Ondo State, Oba Folagbade Olateru Olagbegi, continues with a special prayer session organized by the body of benchers in the state. They described the late monarch as a sound legal practitioner, exceptional leader, and respected traditional ruler.
Legal icons, both from the bench and bar, traditional rulers and well-wishers gather at the courtroom of the Ondo State High Court, Akure, in honor of the late Olowo of Owo, Oba David Folagbade Olateru Olagbegi, who was a senior advocate of Nigeria, a life bencher, and a teacher of law to many legal luminaries. One after the other, they pay tribute to a man who they believe devoted his life to the service of humanity.
We rejoice that we have the opportunity to celebrate a man who deserves to be celebrated. We rejoice because DBS lived a life that has left us with pride, but we knew him and were related or connected to him.
He was a teacher of teachers. He was a teacher of senior advocates of Nigeria. He was a teacher of governors. He was a teacher of my Lord Justice of the Supreme Court. And he was a teacher to all our friends who were here, who had the opportunity of being at the law school at the time our late Oba was the secretary and lecturer of the Nigerian Law School.
For the representative of the body of benchers of Fodile Okafo, the late monarch David Olateru Olagbegi would be greatly missed.
IBS has only called truly a sound legal practitioner, an exceptional leader, an epitome of humility, and a highly respected professional ruler who vast knowledge and experience in both the private and public sector contributed tremendously to the board of benchers.
Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, in his speech, describes the late Olowo of Owo as an illustrious son of the state.
A statesman, a rare monarch, and an illustrious son of Ondo State, Oba David Victor Folagbade Olateru Olagbegi Victor.
The late monarch David Olateru Olagbegi served in several capacities before and during his reign as the Olowo of Owo.
"50 graduating students of the Ogwashuku Polytechnic in Delta State will be empowered by the state government in different skills and businesses. Governor Ifeanyi Okowa made the promise during an official visit and on-the-spot inspection of facilities at the Polytechnic. Our correspondent, Vivian Oramadike, has this report.
Governor Ifeanyi Okowa arrives the Ogwashiku Polytechnic to a rousing welcome from the students of the institution. Accompanied by other top state government officials, he is then taken round by the management to inspect the infrastructure available with special focus on skill acquisition and entrepreneurial development. At a formal gathering after the tour, the students, through the school rector, make their requests.
Perimeter fencing of the institution to be able to cope the security challenges. Construction of permanent administrative block building, a modern library for the institution, staff residential quarters, recreational areas for staff and students, provision of borehole water within the student hostel to be able to meet the needs of the students.
The governor now makes a commitment in response to their requests.
Working with the people, having a knowledge of what we require locally, and being able to produce things which will help to better the life of our people. And I'm ready to support them to work in that direction.
Where you saw it at the other side.
Governor Okowa goes on to inspect the dualization of Ugeli Asaba Road to be completed within the next 2 years. The governor, who seems impressed with the quality and pace of work so far, then speaks on budgeted resource to fund the project.
Somehow we're able to push the federal government on the road, and I must give kudos to the current administration of Buhari, who actually graciously accepted to make some refund, not in totality, but a partial refund of the monies being spent on the road. And we are ready to apply those resources to quickly get the roads into completion.
Vivian Oramadike, Channels Television News.
The federal government has reiterated its commitment to financing ongoing road projects in the country and ensuring that they are all completed in record time. A representative from the Ministry of Power, Works and Housing mentioned this at the recent inspection of the work at the Boni-Bodo Road and the Aba-Port Harcourt dual carriageway in Rivers State. Our correspondent Emmanuel Ray reports that some persons have been talking about the importance of these road projects and how their lives have been affected by the work.
It is certainly a long road and a long walk. The Boni-Bodo Road and bridges expected to span across over 7 communities between Boni and Bodo, with a total length of over 37 kilometers, including the swampy and hard-to-reach areas. The completion of which some residents believe will be a dream come true.
If they finish this road, people will rush all this because they're empty room. Strangers will come and they can stay here, do their business free and fair. Nobody will worry them.
But it will not be an easy task, especially in bad weather, as the federal government partners with a gas joint venture company to spend over 120 billion naira on what is a major road project in the Niger Delta, planned to be delivered by 2022.
Money is the taproot of the economy of Nigeria. We have the oil, it's the oil settlement, and now we have the gas as well.
There is no peace here we cannot achieve. This road is very important to the federal government. This road, when completed, will benefit the people of this area most.
There is still more work, this time at the site of the ongoing rehabilitation of Section 4 of the dual carriageway of the Aba-Port Harcourt Road. And like in many cases of road constructions of this sort, some buildings are affected and may have to go. But these residents seek compensation.
We, the landlord of this place,
There is compensation the federal government should do for us, which they have done some demolitions and destroyed part of our things. Nothing has been compensated.
All those buildings that are there, that are supposed to be compensated for, they have not been destroyed. And there's no way government will destroy any property without the payment of the compensation.
Although work is ongoing, it does look a long way to completion, and residents would like to see these projects completed and not abandoned at any point. Emmanuel Irene, Channels Television News.
The governor of Ogun State, Ibikunle Amosu, has asked leaders to continue to rule with equity and the fear of God to foster national integration for the socio-economic development of the country. The governor made the call in Abeokuta, the state capital, during the 9th edition of the annual Iftar Special Prayer.
Islamic faithfuls say humility, empathy and compassion are virtues that should be imbibed during the fasting season. But one key thing that must be at the center for Nigerians is peaceful coexistence and national integration. Here at the Ogun State Government House, a senior Islamic scholar at the University of Ibadan breaks down the role of religion in national integration.
It is an expectation that religion, being dominant feature of our Nigerianness, should have the capacity to shape our actions, thoughts, and worldview.
He adds that we cannot experience peaceful coexistence except Nigerians learn to tolerate one another.
For us to have genuine integration, tribes must accept themselves, tribes must respect one another, and tribes must accord each of the constituents in the nation their due right. This is what Prophet Muhammad did while in Medina.
For the Ogun State governor, this lecture is timely.
I did mention something, that in all that we do, what comforts me is that whoever you said you are, whichever position that you find yourself, one day you will answer that call of the Almighty Lord. And that is the one that keeps me going, that pushes me, and tells me that in all that I do all of the time, we must fear God, and we must be fair, we must be just, we must be equitable to all manner of people.
This is the last edition of the Ramadan lecture that will be hosted by this administration, which winds down on May the 29th, 2019.
Now let's get the latest in the world of business. Charles Iruka is standing by with the update.
Thanks, Melinda, and welcome to Business News. The Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, says it will soon begin collection of value-added tax for online purchases of goods and services. According to reports by the News Agency of Nigeria, the chairman of the FIRS, Babatunde Fowler, explains that the move is part of efforts made to meet its 8 trillion naira revenue target for 2019. Mr. Fowler hints that the agency will ask banks to impose VAT on online transactions as it plans to generate between 750 billion and 1 trillion naira from the clampdown, which includes closure of defaulters' bank accounts. Meanwhile, the FIRS says it generated 1.5 trillion naira revenue in the first quarter of 2019. The chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, Mr. Fowler, says the amount of the 2019 is 330 billion naira, or 28% higher than the 1.17 trillion naira it reported same period in 2018. Mr. Fowler further explains that the amount, which includes revenue from non-oil taxes, were 11% higher than what was realized from that sector last year. He dropped the hint that the FIRS plans to surpass the over 1 trillion naira tax net it realized from value-added tax in 2018. And now to the Nigerian Stock Exchange. The second trading week of May at the Stock Exchange ends in the green by a marginal 0.08% rise in the main index, but with a 17.29% surge in total value of listed equities. The two rebound, which followed the long-awaited listing of telecoms giant MTN Nigeria, overshadowed persistent heavy sell pressure which dominated all 5 key sectors of the NSE. Total volume of shares transactions this week were lower by over 305 million units, in contrast to last week's trading at 1.17 billion in 18,380 deals, driven largely by the shares of Transcorp, Access and GT Bank. The share price of Thomas Wyatt, which is the best performer out of 16 gainers, is up by 24%. Regency Alliance is the worst among 42 losers, down by 20%, while 109 equities recorded no price change within the week. And that's it on business news, and back to Melinda with the rest of the news at 10.
Many thanks, Charles. Still ahead on the news at 10, Manchester City's dominance of English football continues as they beat Watford 6-0 at Wembley to win the FA Cup, with Premier League and League Cup already in the kitty. That's the sports news. Join us again.